boxing match and realized he forgot his gloves. Don't mind me, though. Carry on. You know, I tried to get your flashback perk, but I couldn't, so I'm going to paraphrase for you. I think I got this quote down. You called Harden and Embiid the greatest duo. Wait, we need perk on camera for this. The greatest duo since Kareem in Magic. How you feeling about yourself this morning and those bold proclamations?
I feel great. I said they have the potential to be the greatest duo since Kareem and Magic.
Okay, so you know what? He added potential because we didn't have the tape. You added that word potential.
No, but here's the thing. Let's not act like from this small sample size that these two haven't shown us that they have great capability of playing alongside each other at an extremely high level. Now, last night was one game, but it was a humbling situation for them because now they could go back to the roots of the things. Now they could go back to getting it out of the mud. Now they know that what it takes, they're going to have to come out there and not just show up because they're James Harden and Joel Embiid, that they're actually going to have to play. I will say this about Embiid. Look, he did not shoot well from the field last night, and that happens. But for as him competing, for as him getting to the free throw line, for as him talking this smack and doing what he had to do, I thought he did a hell of a job last night of actually competing. Now, he didn't shoot the ball well, but I'm not going to go back on my statement. These two are still a dangerous duo. They had an off night last night, and we'll see come postseason time. Let me see how these guys are going to get stopped.
Hold up.
Get him, Molly.
They're still a dangerous duo?
Right, and potential? What are we doing?
Because I got a question here. Hold up, Big Perk. No, mister, I'm right 100% of the time, 70% of the time, or whatever nonsense that I love that line. I love all your lines, Perk. But the question was, do you still believe Embiid and Harden are the best duo in the NBA, Big Perk? It wasn't, are they still dangerous? Don't switch things up on me.
No, I'm not backpedaling. Listen, I strongly believe that they're still the best duo in basketball.
There we go.
I strongly believe that they still have things to figure out just like everyone else. And like I said, it's been easy for them. James Harden talked about it in his postgame. Everything's been peaches and cream since those two been on the floor together, and now they hit adversity, and now they went up against a Brooklyn Nets team that were waiting for them, that had something to prove, that took it personal. So I think that these two, we all know, Joel Embiid, he embraces that, and he's going to circle the next few games, and now they got a reality check, which is going to fuel the 76ers, and I'm standing by it. They still are the best duo in basketball.
Do we also need to quantify this statement by regular season versus postseason?
Yes, that's where I want to go. That's where I want to go, Monica. Because do you have pause now? Do you have concern about James Harden shrinking the biggest moments? Because if Stephen A. Smith was sitting here right now, he would say to you, Big Perk, yeah, you think they're the greatest duo, but who have they played? The Knicks a couple times. They played Minnesota. Now this was real competition, and we saw what happened. They were on their home floor. So is there concern, I'll start with Monica, I see you're getting angry, about James Harden in the biggest moment still?
Here's the deal, and this is life lesson. Let's have a life lesson moment,
Please,
y'all.
I love it. I'm always trying to grow.
The only way to improve because of adversity is to push through adversity.
Talk to me.
Okay? So first quarter last night, James Harden can't get to the free throw line. And I hear you, Perk. I was with him when he dropped 24 in the fourth quarter 10 years ago. I love it. He has been known as a delightful and talented scorer, crushes in the pick and roll during the course of the regular season. But right now, when it comes to James Harden in big time games, in playoff games, the legacy that he has lacks luster in terms of his ability to show up. So what better way to show us I have turned a corner? Not only have I forced my way out of the second team in a span of 3 years, but I have turned the corner as a competitive, and I'm ready for the big stage because he knew good and well all eyes were on this particular basketball game, and so this was an opportunity for him to show up. I hear you. The Nets needed this win more. The Sixers are solidified in the standings. However, we're talking about a single person's legacy who everyone agrees in terms of that trade, he's probably the person with the most pressure on his shoulders. And so the fact that not only did he not show up, but halfway through the second quarter, quite honestly, to me, Perk, he looked disinterested, which is not a good look. That is worrisome.
And that's why I credited it and I apologize to Kyrie Irving because he played a major role in that. Now,
okay,
was
so
that
Perk, hold on,
was
Perk.
that,
No.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Was that the playoffs last night? Was that the
Basically,
playoffs last
that
night?
pretty much
And
was
no,
the playoffs.
Okay, so
it wasn't.
No, so
It was like
it,
the
it
playoffs.
wasn't the
Go ahead,
playoffs.
go ahead. It wasn't the playoffs. Go ahead.
So do we do realize that the Philadelphia 76ers just beat the Chicago Bulls. They mopped them up. And we talk about the New York Knicks. And I'm just going down the line. I'm not disregarding
Go
the
for it.
importance of the game, but the New York Knicks just beat the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas, okay? And then, by the way, the Brooklyn Nets just got mopped up by the Boston Celtics. I'm just trying to explain to y'all that sometimes it's just not your night.
So
and I'm not making excuses. I'm not making excuses for James Harden, but what I'm not going to do is sit up here and count James Harden out because of one game in the regular season. And I get it. Maybe we had expectations on this regular season game. Maybe we were looking forward to this regular season game. James Harden probably approached this game like, okay, I'm going to go hoop. And I get what y'all saying. He should have had a different mindset. But until the postseason starts, I can't grade him on just a regular season game. I have to see it when it matters the most. And last night, it didn't matter the most.
Okay, so, all right, I would almost give you that, except I have this one question, Perk. You trust that James Harden, based on his history, because the best indicator of future behavior is past behavior, has an on switch that he can flick when it comes postseason?
I trust that the Philadelphia 76ers as a team is going to be okay when it comes to the playoffs because, again, we keep focusing on James Harden and forgetting that he has the MVP front runner alongside of him. So at the end of the day, it's going to be times where Embiid is going to take over. I take you back to the Warriors series, Monica. Okay, if CP3 don't get hurt, a lot of us believe that Houston would have won that series. Yeah. Okay, so my thing is, despite whether or not James Harden have the history of disappearing, he does have a beast that is unstoppable in Joel Embiid that I feel like no one in the NBA can compete with in a 7-game series.
Okay, but the question was, are you concerned about James Harden, not Joel Embiid? And Perk, we're going to move on in a second. But hold up 1 second. Okay, because I just got to challenge you on this one thing. I get any game, and I get any night, the Celtics, the Bulls, all the references. This was not
that.
any game, Perk, and you know this. We talked about it. $4K for a ticket. The worst seat in the house was $200. They said it was like a playoff atmosphere. It hadn't been like that in 10 years. You know this. He's playing his former team. How much did we talk about this trade? The whole Ben Simmons thing. This was not a regular season game. It was a time to put on a show. And guess who put on the show? Kyrie Irving, who you apologized to, and Kevin Durant. And James Harden just did not. But we'll leave it on that. We'll come back to this a little later. I want to transition because you were talking about adversity later, pushing through adversity, all right? And I'm coming back.
Don't please like that, Perk.
I'm coming back to you, okay? Ben Simmons. Right? Big Perk. Ben Simmons showed up. He had his Louis Vuitton jersey, got booed. We saw the whole thing. Do you think that was the right decision by him to put himself in that adverse atmosphere now when he didn't have to play to kind of get that monkey off his back, or was it a bad decision by Brooklyn?
Oh, that monkey is still on his back. Him showing up was one thing, but he showed up in street clothes. Ben Simmons is going to have to show up and play there. And that's another thing that we need to discuss. If Ben Simmons or when Ben Simmons return, let's just say hypothetically that the 76ers and the Nets happen to play each other in the playoffs. They happen to match up and they see each other, whether it's in the first round or the second round. Ben Simmons is going to be playing. It's going to be different when Ben Simmons return to Philly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel him. I understand it. I understand them trying to get it out the way and put it in his past, but it's not in his past yet until he actually shows up in Philly and he shows up and he's between those lines.
Yeah. He's got to get on the court to work it out for sure. But I do think that this was a step in the right direction. I think we would be having a different conversation if Ben Simmons didn't travel with the team, right? So if we buy that the back injury, he's working his way back in, I do think that this was a step in the right direction, but he has to get on the floor. And reports indicate, you know, he's with the team and has really good camaraderie. What I did think was interesting in regards to this was KD's comments post-game interview with Stephanie Reddy and post-game at the presser. Something about KD is very special because not only is he a tremendous basketball player, but he's been able to navigate some personalities that maybe aren't the favorites around the league. We'll put it like that. And so his loyalty to Kyrie, as we've seen in this situation,
I respect his loyalty.
Ben Simmons wanting to come and play alongside of him. And the day of the trade, I think we had heard that he had already had conversations with KD and Steve Nash. And so I really think KD is onto something coming up this postseason, y'all.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will say this though. The great thing about Ben Simmons being there is that I think he made his team come together. Like when you hear guys talking after the game for us, KD and Kyrie, they were saying like basically like you boo Ben, you're booing us. So like I thought they went out there on a level of we got your back. And I think that's what the Nets needed because they've been so up and down and they've been struggling in areas and all these distractions that they've been having that they actually needed that moment. And I think Ben Simmons being there actually made them come together, which is a great thing for the Nets and the Nets fans out there in the world.
Absolutely. They looked like a real team, had each other's back. And I get what you're saying, Perk, that it's not the same thing, obviously, in terms of playing, but I still think it was the right decision for Ben Simmons to go, to hear all the boos, see everybody hate on him, kind of feel it a little bit. I know it's not the same when you're playing, but just like step right into that awkwardness. We'll leave it there.